I am pretty sure most of you here today are familiar with these words pre-owned, second-hand, and used vehicles because this very episode seeks to tip us in the direction of improving the reliability of our pre-owned, used, or second-hand vehicles, which is an enormously huge market. Hello, everyone, and welcome to AutoStop. With this understanding in mind, I will interchangeably and simultaneously use these words in the course of our discussion, but try and explain in technicality what they mean. The next question is simple. What is a used car, a pre-owned vehicle, or a second-hand vehicle? And technically speaking, it is any vehicle that has previously been owned by one or more retail owners before being sold off or leased off to you. So every vehicle that has been owned by somebody or some other persons before being sold off to you or leased off to you is technically a pre-owned or used vehicle or a second-hand vehicle, and they are sold through a variety of outlets including franchise independent car dealers, rental car companies, leasing offices, auctions where you can consider Canadian-based Auction Export Copart and US-based IAAI SBT Japan for Japanese vehicles, and also through private party sales. Okay, now, I previously mentioned that is a huge market. In fact, the used car market or industry is a huge one. Let me just touch on so we have a deeper and an in-depth understanding of where it goes in a global economy. The major car exporting countries of both new and used vehicles include Japan, the European Union, United States, and Canada. These are the major players, okay? And in the European Union alone, 60% of used cars are marketed in the EU countries, which are focused on Eastern Europe, the Caucasus, Central Asia, and Africa. In the United States, used car vehicle exports are focused on Mexico, Nigeria, Benin, and by extension Ghana. The used car industry in the United States is a big one. It started quite a long time in 1898 by the Empire State Motor Wagon Company in Catskill, New York, the first American used car lots. The used car market is substantially larger than you have been thinking and larger than other retail sectors, which are the school and office products market, which constitutes 206 billion US dollars in estimated annual sales, and the home improvement markets also constituting 291 billion estimated annual sales. With annual sales of over 350 billion US dollars, the used vehicle industry represents almost half of the US auto retail market and is the largest retail segment of the US economy. In 2016, about 17.6 million used cars and trucks were sold in the United States and 38.5 million were sold globally or worldwide, which is quite an amount, in terms of size, capacity, left and right, length and breadth and all that. Yeah, when these cars are exported, the Shin countries that receive them have rules and laws that govern the importation exportation of these cars. And let me bias by touching on Africa so we have a fair idea of some of the limitations that exist on the importation of these cars. So I'll touch on age restriction, and there are 54 African countries that set import age restrictions on used vehicle imports. On the contrary, 27 countries do not place any age restriction on these vehicles. Interestingly, there are about 4 to 5 countries that outright ban the importation of these vehicles. They are prohibited in these countries. Countries such as Egypt, South Africa, Sudan, Morocco, they all ban the importation of these vehicles as discussing right now. Now, let's jump forward in time to Ghana, Gambia, Mali, Cote d'Ivoire, and Cape Verde that have all implemented punitive taxation for vehicles beyond a certain age. I believe it's 10. Algeria has an internal 10 different consumption tax levied on these vehicles, and Uganda has an internal environmental tax that is levied on these vehicles. Now, circling back in time, Mauritius, Seychelles, Algeria, and Chad set an age restriction of 3 years. Gabon, Senegal set an age restriction of 4. Libya, Mozambique, Niger, Tunisia set an age restriction of 5. And then Cote d'Ivoire set an age restriction of 7. Kenya, Mauritania, Namibia set an age restriction of 8, where Eritrea, Benin, and Dr. Congo set an age restriction of 10. And the largest bracket of age restriction will fall on Nigeria, Liberia, and Swaziland. That does a maximum age restriction of 12 years. Okay, so this is an idea of how the used car market behaves in the global economy, which is a much bigger economy where these cars play in. Now, The question is, how do you define a reliable used car from an unreliable one? All I'm saying is that what is a reliable used vehicle and an unreliable used vehicle? And let's just technically or simply define it as any vehicle that does not need anything more than normal repairs. Any vehicle that does not need anything more than normal repairs is a reliable vehicle. And notice I didn't say you need no repairs. I said anything more than normal repairs, because this will come back to play in our discussion as continue. And vice versa, an unreliable vehicle will be a vehicle with a consistent number of unplanned breakdowns. The word is unplanned breakdowns. So let us have it in our minds that every car has parts and consumables that needs to be replaced regularly, such as brake pads, tires, oils, and other fluids, battery wiper, etc., etc. And this brings to mind, how do you then improve on a vehicle that has had its parts and consumables used by an owner you couldn't ascertain how he or she used it? Okay, so then let's handle the reason why we are here: how to improve used car reliability. Of course, the reliability of a car or used car is greatly influenced by a number of factors, including how well and thoughtful the manufacturer has been able to design it and by the quality of its components. But also equally important is the attitude of the car owner towards his or her car. In the case of a used car though, the reliability of the car will also depend on how carefully it has been handled by previous owners, and you cannot influence it. However, by following these tips, you can ensure the highest possible reliability of your car. So let's box on and handle the first tip that you need, which is to perform regular car maintenance at regular intervals or scheduled intervals. You need to perform regular car maintenance at scheduled intervals. For most of every car, the manufacturer has defined service intervals. And by service intervals, we all know that is a list of jobs to be performed by after a certain time or mileage, whichever comes first for you. But most of this task involves the inspection and preventive of various vehicle parts. However, there are also parts or assemblies that need to be replaced after a certain time. Otherwise, the consequences can be very sad, such as, i.e., replacing the engine timing belt timely. In case of its rupture in the car's engine as you're driving it, this could require serious overhaul or even a replacement, which will cost tens of times and cash more than changing a timing belt on time. Let me just show you a typical case from Kelly Blue Books, a certified vehicle analyst. And on his website, when people inquired about when a Toyota Corolla timing belt should be replaced, this is what he said. So let's just go to his website and have a look at what he said. He stated that the Toyota Corolla manual should suggest 60,000 miles to 100,000 miles. In between there, if you find your vehicle to be there and you haven't changed the timing belt, it is time you did. If you didn't, this is what could happen. So Kelly Blues answered what could happen. It was something you didn't want to know. Let's just take a look at what he said. Okay, so this is what Kelly Blues, as a certified vehicle analyst, says. Okay, right. So service intervals can usually be found in your vehicle's manual. If your vehicle does not have it, try the internet or consult a qualified car service center. Okay, you can come to us. So that's the point number one. Let's go to point number two, which is for you to prevent defects in a timely manner. Okay, so the second thing to do is to prevent defects in a timely manner. Something that lots of us don't do until the parts or the assembly is completely broken and the vehicle immobilized. Okay, we all know cars are complexly put together with set of mechanisms that work closely with each other, right? So a minor damage to one of the nodes can negatively affect several other units and results in more expensive car repairs. For instance, your vehicle's suspension system. Bear in mind that almost any damaged suspension component, your shock absorber, your suspension spring, your wheel bearing, your ball bearings, your lower and upper arm controls, your links, etc., etc., will significantly increase the load on the other suspension components and wear all these parts quicker than it should. Okay, so if you look behind us, there's a track that shows us the assembly of the suspension and the components all in there. When one of them is damaged and is not changed on time, it would affect the other components, putting unnecessary wear on them, tear them down quickly. However, if you look at the track, you have two pairs of suspension units, front and then the rear. Okay, so once one of the suspension unit assemblies is suffering, it will put unnecessary stress on that, and it will put unnecessary stress on the other ones, and your vehicle will behave just as you are looking at. Puts, as it's been jerked, there's so much pressure on one side of the suspension system, putting unnecessary pressure on it. The other three areas are behaving optimal behavior, so that in a way will also wear them, and that is figuratively how it would look. Therefore, if your car starts to make any suspicious noise or changes its behavior on the road and in the instrument readings or other nuances, contact a qualified service, diagnose it, and repair the damage needed, and you can come to AutoStop if you are anywhere closer to us. However, turning a blind eye waiting for a breakdown approach does not pay off in any way. The third point is usually something that we all know, which is using quality spare parts complemented with competent car mechanics. So you are supposed to use quality spare parts and then do that with competent car mechanics. These days, most cars have a wide range of non-original parts which are much cheaper and more affordable than original spare parts. Some non-original spare parts are of the same quality or even better quality than the original ones. Others, usually the cheapest ones in the market, only look like the original one, but their materials and workmanship are very, very poor. And it should be understood that the cost of repairing each unit consists of parts and labor, and the amount and labor of units is independent of the cost of the part. For instance, if your car's air conditioning compressor is broken, the cost of buying or repairing the compressor unit is independent of fixing the new or the repaired condenser. You get me? So now, correspondingly, choosing a low quality part that costs half as much as a quality part but paying the same amount of work, you end up saving a few tenths of percent. However, the life of a low quality part will probably be several times shorter and shorter, and so you would overpay for the next repair and the next repair and the next repair. That is why it is important to find a knowledgeable and honest car mechanic who will advise you on which part you should choose, just as AutoShop will do. Okay, so this is very important. Don't go on cheap parts, okay, and don't go with cheap mechanics. Go with quality spare parts and competent mechanics in tandem, right? If you do that, you would optimize the reliability of your vehicle. And the last but not the least point, which is so very common to most of us, especially in our parts of the world, is the use of your vehicle for the purpose for which it was intended. Okay, lots of people occasionally use their vehicles to do things that are not meant to do, especially in these parts of the world. But we should know that each car model has its own basic purpose of use, such as urban travel, freight transport, driving on poor quality roads, that's off-road vehicles, and so on and so forth. Okay, there are purposes for different vehicles and models. Okay, that is why the manufacturers take time to build different categories of the same brands for us. Okay, so when using a car for other purposes, such as regularly transporting hundreds of kilograms of constructional materials in a small city car, what are you doing to it? Or using a basic crossover, a parkway jeep on a serious off-road, the following parts must be taken into account, and the vehicle's reliability will definitely and significantly be reduced under such conditions. Okay, right, so I need you to take note of this as you go about your daily activities using your pre-owned, second-hand or used vehicle. And all too soon, these are a few tips that we all can put to use to optimize the reliability of our used, pre-owned vehicles and second-hand vehicles. And thank you so much for checking us out. We appreciate you so much, your time, and if you enjoyed this, kindly put a like, comment, and subscribe for more of these. Okay, now this is the next project that we have that you can check out. On my right, you have driving tip 103, flooring your accelerator pedal bad, and then on my left will take you to driving tip 102, how to drive through flooded roads as the rains come. Right, thank you so much, and see you here soon. Bye bye.